My name is Jonathan Gilliam.
And this is The Experts.
This is Jonathan Gilliam, and it's Friday on The Experts. Woohoo! Well, we're live. We are live. We are live on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. And I got to tell you, I'm getting this down. I didn't have any technical problems, but I had to figure out a way to get this whole thing going in an order so that the Facebook Live doesn't start recording just randomly because there's no on-off button. So anyway, that's my problem, not your problem. But we're not going to stand here very long tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about, and I'm going to have a phone call. Do you not have sound? We have sound. Sound is good. All right. I'm going to call my good buddy Craig here in a minute, and I'm going to explain that. I've got his number, but I'm probably going to surprise him because I didn't verify that I was going to call him. But we're going to talk about Viral Hog and Facebook and this scam that they have going, and then the Democrats and the anarchists and what they're doing now, calling for violence. Let's get started. All right. We know that, by the way, I'm going to give everybody full warning, okay? I've got a big-ass Corona Light. This is two bottles of Corona Light inside a chilled mug. And we are going to be popping the top on and toasting that here in just a little bit. It's got paint on it because I was drinking a beer when I was painting one time. And special for tonight, in honor of Craig and what he did, and I'm going to explain exactly what he did. We are going to pop the top on some Pringles. I should be getting paid for sponsoring these people. I'm not a big junk food guy, but I got to tell you, I stopped the Oreos because I don't like the fact of what that company represents, even though they're good. But I don't know if Pringles is made by the same group of people. They probably are, but man, I'd hate to have to give these up. All right, so we're going to go with those here just shortly. So let's see if Craig is, he gave me his number here, so give me just a second and let me reach out to him. And before I reach out to him, let me make sure I got his, let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. Where is he? Okay, he reached out to me on the big page, so stand by. Sorry for this. We'll get to it. Okay, so anyway, here's what happened. All right, for the past, well, I'm getting one finding Craig's phone number. For the past, I don't know, couple of weeks, every show, I get a message from Facebook, and I've been posting these messages afterwards. And basically, what it says is that I have been flagged by a company named Viral Hog, and basically what happens is well, you know what? Let's let Craig explain it in his video. Let me see if you guys can see this, and let me turn the lighting down on this a little bit so it comes up. There he goes. All right. Let me call Craig real quick and put him on speakerphone. Let's see here. I got a copy of his number down here. He explains this much better than I do. Let me go ahead and play it while we're... let me call him first. And I'll have him on the hold while we do that. Stand by, Craig, if you're watching, and everybody else. But you really do need to know this about how these different companies work. And what exactly the scams are here. So you want to know how Facebook makes money, this is probably one of the ways. All right. Uh-oh.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be.
Maybe I wrote the wrong number down there. Hold on a second. Sorry, Craig. All right, stand by. You know what? While I'm doing this, let's just play the video. I think you guys can see that good enough.
Short notice, and I normally don't do this, but this is Craig Wilson. I'm watch a show every night that I can. I was in Bozeman, Montana today. I was making a delivery there, so I decided I was going to stop in at Viral Hog.
So he just happened to be in Montana where Viral Hog is located. That's a very strange coincidence there, Craig. Okay, go ahead.
And asked him what is going on with this show and Jonathan Gilliam, and want to know what their issue is. Well, I wasn't there very long when I was told to leave, when I started asking questions. So I decided I'm not going to take that. So what I did was I ended up calling Viral Hog, and I talked to a woman by the name of Courtney, and she wanted us as a group or the show to buy licensing rights and agreements from Viral Hog to use any audio content at all, period. And I said that's not gonna, not gonna happen. I'm not gonna make decisions for the group. But I just got a phone call about 20 minutes ago from a woman by the name of Wendy. And what the issue was, it is not what he's airing or putting on from audio clips or video clips or anything else like that. What they were getting him on was the intro to the show. It's got the wind in the background, and what was happening was that was being picked up by Facebook and their CID, whatever that is. Maybe Jim DeLong or somebody else that's computer savvy can explain what that is. But it was being picked up automatically through that because it matched a video that is owned literally by Viral Hog. They produced it. It's a man climbing a crane. Excuse me. And it has the
Next time, you might want to stop dipping while you're doing a video.
background from natural wind. So that's what they said that they owned. When they actually looked at his intro, they have now whitewashed Jonathan and the Expert show. So what that means is, from now on, according to them, when he airs the show, he will no longer get the alert from Facebook, and they will not take the show down, because Jonathan owns that intro, or he did it himself, or someone had it made for him, whatever the case may be. Viral Hog doesn't own that, and that's what they're claiming, is they own the intro because of the noise of the wind. People, this is how it starts. They say they own the noise of the wind. So if you are outside and you're doing a Facebook Live and the wind blows by, Viral Hog can say that they own the content of that video because of the wind. This is how ridiculous it's getting. But as of right now, per Wendy in our conversation, at about 10:40 Central Time, Jonathan and the Expert show will no longer be harassed or taken down by Viral Hog because of this issue. Jonathan, if you watch this, keep up the great work. I've talked to you once on the phone when I tried to get you onto the podcast that I used to do. You're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. For everyone else that watches, please don't just watch it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your neighbors. Share it with your coworkers. Share it with the guys that you don't even like. And please, go to the Experts Roadshow and go to the GoFundMe and donate. I don't care if it's $1, $10, whatever you can do. Help out Jonathan. He's doing a great job, and we need more patriots like him and like us that follow him to start stepping up and doing the jobs that people are afraid to do. Everyone, I know it's Friday. You guys have a great day. Be blessed. And enjoy your weekend. And remember, you never know when it's going to be your last day. So tell the people that you know that you love them, you care for them, and keep up the good fight. You guys have a great weekend. Hello, everybody.
Awesome. All right. So hold on a second, folks. I got Craig. Craig, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I got you you're in the box here. So you're kind of coming through where everybody can hear you now. So first of all, we'll let the dipping go for now.
Thank you. I appreciate that one.
That reminded me of Ranger School. When I went through Ranger School and I did an exchange with the Army when I was in the Navy, and the instructors there, I mean, if there was 5 instructors, they would all. It was like a dip session. There was, by the time they got through teaching the course, there it looked like a bunch of birds had come by and crapped dip spit all over the place. So, yeah, you were rocking the dip in there. But so you just happened to be in the location of Viral Hog. How did that just happen to take place?
You got to understand, I run from Houston, Texas to Montana and Washington State.
Right.
A little backstory of this was on Tuesday, I was out in Tacoma, Washington, and someone made a post about how you made the post about Viral Hog, and everyone's getting all pissy about it, rightfully so.
Right.
And I said, well, I'm going to be going back that way. Maybe I should stop in at Viral Hog. I actually looked up on Facebook on where they're located. I sent that information to you, and Mr. Chandler was Craig Wilson. Why did you go ahead and do that? And I'm thinking, well, I pull hazmat. So, what's the legalities of me taking a hazmat tank over there? You know, I'm flammable. I'm flammable, so I have a little bit of different rules I have to play with. But it kept happening. Wednesday happened, and it happened last night. I said, you know what? I was in Butte, Montana last night when I watched your show, and I said, I'm stopping in. And I parked in a safe haven. I walked in there, and I just opened the door. I mean, they don't lock the doors. There's no security. There's nobody there except for a receptionist. And I asked.
That's Montana. That's Montana for you right there.
Well, one thing I will say about Montana is it's a constitutional carry state. So I could be walking in there and everyone in that office be armed. So they're not worried about themselves. But, you know, I walked in and I asked to speak to management, and some guy walks out, and, you know, I hate to judge people, but when you're wearing skin tight jeans and you know, you're wearing sandals and flip flops, I really don't. I'm not quick to judge somebody, but I just started laughing in my head, like, I'm not getting anywhere with this guy.
Right.
But I asked him, hey, what's going on? And he asked about who I was, and of course I explained to him. And I asked him, so what is up with Viral Hog and the Expert Show on Facebook, and why are you harassing Jonathan Gilliam? He goes, will you please leave?
So did he know who we were, you think?
I don't know, but I don't think that they are used to somebody coming in and questioning their authority.
Right. No, probably not.
So,
probably
I mean,
not.
You know, and I wasn't even thinking, here I was, I'm wearing the baseball hat, as you can see in the video, of the place that I delivered to up there. And I wasn't even thinking about any of this, you know. I just want to take care of business. So I left, and I'm like, I'm not going to take this laying down. I'm the ones that's in the background, just quiet, listening.
Right.
I absorb it all. And when I have to actually take action, I do it wholeheartedly, or I don't do it at all.
Right.
So I made the phone call, and I talked to that lady, Courtney, and she wanted me to buy into this subscription.
So this is probably what they do. They probably, I would almost assume there's probably a lot of people that fall prey to this, where they end up giving in and buying some kind of subscription with them, where I don't really get it, where they say they own something, and then they try to pressure them into giving them money, I guess, to buy the rights.
Right. Well, here's how she wanted it to work. She wanted me or you to send her a link to the video, and someone would get back to us later today with an amount of what they wanted us to pay per month.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm like, forget that. I'm not gonna play that game. But Tuesday, when I was going through their pages, I saw a friend of mine. Her video from her dash cam was on their page, and I called her up and said, "Hey Tammy, remember when you had that accident when that car cut you off and you rear-ended it?" And she's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Did you sell it or give it to Viral Hog?" She said no. So I sent her that information, and she was fighting with them, and they since then have taken it down.
Wow. So that's what they do. They go try to lay claim to something, and then basically like attorneys, they try to take you to court, and then you have to basically buy your way out of court if you haven't done anything wrong. But they try to do the same thing with your videos or sound.
Correct. So I hung up with her because I'm thinking I'm not getting anywhere with this Courtney lady. So I started trucking on down the road, and my phone rings, and it's Viral Hog's phone number. I'm like, great, I forgot to block my number. They got caller ID.
Right.
I'm an idiot today. So I talked to this woman. Yeah, well, I talked to this woman, Wendy, and she's going on about how she looked at your opening, and there's a crane, a video of a guy climbing a crane that has wind, and Facebook's new updated CID, which I don't know what that means. In my world, is Criminal Investigation Division for a police department, but I don't know what it means for,
I think it's a text. I think it's some kind of a computer source that searches for stuff. But let me say this real quick: that where I got that sound was off a YouTube where you can search for wind, and it has different sound effects that you can grab off of. There was nobody climbing a crane. There was nothing like that. This was just some random audio clip of wind. That's it.
Right. So, but she wanted to know who I was. And she would only either talk to someone that's a producer or a sponsor. And that really kind of threw me through a loop. You want to talk to a producer or a sponsor. And, I made a pledge to you to donate X amount of money per month to your show. So, so I thought quick on my feet, like most military people and truck drivers do, is, well, yes, I'm a sponsor.
That's right.
And I'm like, if he's doing something wrong, I want to know where I'll stop continuing to sponsor him. So I wanted to make it look like that I was really concerned. Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, here's what it is. And, oh, don't worry about it. He didn't do anything wrong. I said whitewash in the video, but it's because I'm from the South. We whitewash everything.
Right.
It's actually white list. So, it was just one of those things where I'm thinking, at least I got somebody with common sense.
Yeah.
And someone said, well, maybe they're just blowing smoke up your butt. You know what? They may. I have to take this woman at her word, and hopefully that it doesn't happen to you anymore.
Well, if it does, so one thing that happened today was I got 3 messages where they had filed to block 3 different shows, and they had rescinded those. So we'll see what happens today. And I also filed a complaint against Viral Hog saying that they were abusive and harassing, or they were bullying and harassing online. Facebook came back and said they didn't exactly meet the standards of harassing, but they were glad that they were notified. Blah blah blah. And then I blocked Viral Hog, so they shouldn't be able to even see my videos now. So that's going to be, I think, one of the biggest things is if blocking them actually works. I don't know if it will or not. But the thing that bothered me was that Facebook never said the exact 11 seconds of the wind blowing, and that intro is more than 11 seconds. I counted it. It's more than 11 seconds. In fact, let's see here. I'll play just the beginning opening here. Don't get confused if you're just tuning in. Let's see, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012. So you've already gone over that. So I think they just chose, and that was just half of that windy part. So I think they just are picking on people who have videos up, like your friend, and then they try to force them to pay for it for the rights of it.
Right, and I'm going to throw Remo under the bus for a second. he made a comment on there. Don't Facebook Live and drive. I wasn't driving. And Meredith, I am so sorry that the blinker was driving you crazy. I pulled off on an exit ramp to do the Facebook Live because once I got closer to the mountain, I didn't have cell phone service or Wi-Fi or anything for the next 50 miles.
Don't worry about what Meredith says. Meredith likes to walk around the corner and strike up a conversation when you're in the middle of filming something, so she doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, well, she told you in the comments to give me a coin. Please don't give me a coin. I didn't do this for myself or any personal gain. I did this for you and for the group.
Oh, you're getting a beer is what you're getting when sometime if I ever get out to Montana.
Well, I don't live in Montana. I live in Texas, and I've told you.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We're going to go to Texas.
Yeah, when you come down here, you've got you can stay at my house. I got a bedroom, and Rico can go and play with my dogs. We can go fishing in my pond. And I've actually, one thing you don't know, I don't know if you read all the comments, I've actually been searching for a Truthmobile. I've been looking for RVs for you. And so it's to try to get you out here more often. But
you know what I've been looking at? I know people think I'm weird with this, but so after living in my truck for a month, I started researching this stuff. I didn't know there's a whole community of people that live in vans. And Sprinter vans are amazing. They can be completely reconfigured with bathrooms and everything in them. And I know people think this is weird, but I'm telling you right now, I would go on the road nonstop if I had a smaller RV or like a Sprinter van that I could turn into basically like a small RV. I would go on the road as long as I kept getting donations and do this show from place to place. I am addicted to living on the road. I don't know why. I can't stop thinking about it ever since I got home.
Right. Well, you talk about how you drove 5,000 miles in the month, which is great, and you got to see a little bit of my life.
Right. Yeah, I know. My stepdad was a truck driver for 40 years, so it doesn't even compare.
I want to give you a little piece of advice, though, because when you're in those rest areas, you're like, man, why is this guy flashing his lights? Do whatever you do. Don't flash your lights back at him. You will have company that you don't want. But,
listen, my spotty senses are up whenever I park somewhere. I always park where I try not to go to the rest areas. I normally go to a Love's. And I guess Walmart allows people to park in the parking lot, but there's a lot of Walmarts that don't have security, so you kind of got to be careful there as well. But there are some Walmarts that are open 24 hours.
Yeah, but like I was going to say, is I didn't do this for me, my personal gain. I did it for the group and for you. Because if we let one company walk all over us and start trampling our rights, we're going to give them up to everybody. And I took an oath when I joined the military, when I joined the United States Army, and I'm not going to let my freedoms be taken away freely.
Yeah. Period. No, I'm well, that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I agree with you 100% because that's what we serve for. We serve so that other people have freedom, but just because you're not serving in the military doesn't mean that you can't continue to serve your freedom and the freedoms that we're granted by God through the Constitution. And these are games that people play in business all the time. And that, when I was in the FBI, I dealt a lot with organized crime and with crime syndicates and also with just scams, that people would play. I remember one time I was working the operations center and a woman called in because she had met a guy online, and they went out a couple times. She actually met him, which is actually rare when somebody's in a scam you, but she actually met this guy and went out. It sounded like they had, a little bit of an intimate relationship there. And he always told her that he was a foreigner. And he told her that he had a company, a nonprofit that went around the world opening up orphanages. So this woman gets a call from him one day because he was only coming into the country on occasions, and he called her and said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to be coming in like next week, and I'm wanting to open an orphanage in the inner city somewhere probably in New York." And but he says, I'm not an American citizen, so I can't open a bank account there, which I've never heard of these. Obviously, he's never been to Bank of America. So they love illegals at Bank of America. So he told her, he said, could I wire some money into your account, and then you could just withdraw it when I get there, and that way I can, because this is going to go straight to the orphanage that we're building. It's not going to be any hit on you. You won't pay tax or nothing. She's like, oh, okay. She was thinking it was going to be, a couple $1,000s or $20,000 at the most. The next day she had almost $1 million in her bank account. And so she was a little surprised by that. So she called the FBI, and I answered the phone. And I told her, I said, you're being scammed, because if you withdraw that money and give it to him, she would have been in hock for all that. And the bank would have confiscated what money she actually had in the bank, because they're notorious for doing that. See, there's a scam. When you get involved in this stuff, people are going to scam you on the left and on the right. And so if you ever have this happen, I know I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but if anybody ever has this happen where somebody scams you with the, hey, I'm going to buy your car, but can we deposit $10,000? You just write me a check for $1,000. You keep an extra $1,000, blah, blah. You'll be in hock for that. And then the bank will freeze your account and try to keep all your money that you had in there. So I told her, go right now, withdraw all the money that you had in there, and then complain to the bank. And that's what she did. She kept her money. And as far as I know, there was no harm nor foul. But this is the same type of thing where, if you don't know what's going on, you can fall victim to this. And I think, your friend is one who really has to watch out. They're literally using her. They're doing the same thing to her that they were trying to do to me, in that they were saying that they owned this part of the audio, but at the same time, they took her video and put it up on their website, and I'm sure they were going to try to make her pay for that somehow.
Oh, yeah. And, I got two more things before I let you go, because I know you got a busy show tonight. One's a PSA announcement. People, if he's having technical difficulties, do not do the angry faces. What that does is that alerts Facebook that what he's saying and what he's doing you don't like and should be removed.
Where'd you find that out?
And a friend of mine had his Facebook account removed because of that, and they explained it to him in detail when he finally got a hold of them. All
right, so give me hearts like crazy. Everybody just starts pumping the hearts up.
It goes by their algorithms, and after so many, they start. You're up on their radar, and it's all in that new fake news crap that they got going on.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. We don't want him off the air. And also, watch what you put on YouTube. One of your former Navy SEALs, Don Shipley, he had a YouTube channel up, and if you get so many complaints, they will remove anything that you put on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
so
he's been in YouTube. He's been in YouTube jail several times because he goes after liars, and so those liars complain.
I actually donate to him on the ExtremeNavySeals.com or whatever it is.
It's unbelievable. This is going to take us to the next block here, but it's unbelievable how. Again, I know I got in trouble for calling out liberals yesterday, but I do have to say it's unbelievable how liberals identify a lot of the times with people who are doing things wrong. And if they make a complaint, they don't say, well, let's look at this video. Okay, you're the dirtbag that's saying that you're a Navy SEAL when you're really not. They're not going to block that guy. They're going to pull Don Shipley off. That's how ridiculous the different tech companies are. So, yeah, it's interesting.
And my heart goes out to Don. He's doing the right thing, and he even says, "I've got access to all the databases for the Navy SEALs," and which is a great thing. And he educated me because my whole family was Navy except for me. I decided to be the black sheep and go Army. Yeah, I went Army. So I didn't know that there's a lot of people pretending to be a Navy SEAL. Which I get. Oh well, I used to be an MP, but I was an Army Ranger. Well, you're not an MP and a Ranger. You're one or the other. Or where were you stationed? Oh, I was at Bragg. Or well, why are you down here in Benning? Oh well, can I see a DD-214? Oh well, I don't know what that is. anyone that's ever been in the military knows what an
Dude,
ED-214 is.
Yesterday or 2 days ago, I said something. I don't remember what it was. It's something to do with Comey, and some leftist came on there on Twitter and saying that I was a disgrace, that they were a veteran, and I was a disgrace to veterans. Blah blah blah. And I said, because I usually don't respond to trolls, but I said, it's interesting. You're either one of two things. Either you are a liar, or you're the biggest blue falcon that ever was in the military. Him and another guy both came up and said, we have no idea what a blue falcon is, but obviously it's something you just made up. Well, if you've ever been in the military and you don't know what a blue falcon is, then you must have, I don't know, did boot camp and then went and got your sex changed and got out. I don't know. This, I don't know.
Yeah, they washed out. But I want to ask you one question, seeing as you're in New York City. How do you feel about the city council wanting to know the anti-terrorists?
Oh, it's ridiculous. I know what you're saying.
They want to know how they surveil and how.
They're wanting them to release. They're wanting them to release what it is. The city council's wanting NYPD to release the information of how the tactics, techniques, and procedures they use to surveil, and in some cases, who they're surveilling. The city council in New York City those are the same people who honored last week during the Puerto Rican parade a Puerto Rican terrorist that is responsible for multiple deaths in the 80s, I believe it was, and 70s, 80s, and they're communist. Look, I mean, de Blasio is a communist, backed by the Communist Party, worked for the communists in Nicaragua while we were at war with them, went to Russia on his honeymoon. The guy's a communist. He's changed his name he's on his third name, kind of like Barack Obama a little bit. But, hey, listen, I'm going to let you go, buddy, so we don't lose our numbers.
Brother.
And everybody loves you, but they
up.
get bored with me. I know they're going to get bored with us talking back and forth about military stuff. So
Exactly. Well, bottoms up, brother.
All right, buddy. Thank you. And thanks again. Be safe out there on the road. And we'll see you when I get out to Texas. I'll buy you a beer.
Anytime.
You got it, buddy. All right, folks. Awesome guy. Craig Wilson, a.k.a. Superman on the road. Not afraid. He's lucky he didn't get slapped by one of those liberals when he went in there. I know he's laughing about that. So let's go to the let's see here. I got to try to pull this thing back up. Let's go to the where'd it go? I'm trying to pull Twitter back up here real quick. Twitter, their app is all over the place. I liked it before when you just were able to just push on you had your little app is all over the place. There you go. I'm talking to myself. You used to be able to you had your profile thing at the bottom of the app on the bottom right. Now it's on the top left, and you got to go through all these things to. We have some commies on the left too. Where are you at, Cynthia? That you have commies too. Oh, by the way, I gotta say this because she's gonna forever be not angry at me, but I just want to go ahead and say that I am sorry, Maureen, that you were right, Maureen Walsh. You and all the hearts that you used to throw up on Facebook, evidently, according to Craig. You were correct for doing that. I told Maureen one day, not in a bad way, I wasn't mean to her, at least I didn't think I was, that I thought there was maybe too many hearts going across the screen because she gets excited about all the stuff, and she's one of my biggest supporters. And she's an incredible makeup artist, works with Barry Morgenstein and does all the makeup for all the big famous people. And she was putting all these hearts across constantly, and so I told her, I said, maybe we're doing a few too many hearts. Maybe we should just back off a little bit. And so there you go, Maureen. Way to go. You're ahead of your time, and I didn't even know it. So let me pull my reading glasses over here before they fall off. You got to see this. No matter how young I feel with reading glasses, I don't know. All right. Here's what we're going to do. Let's go to the... I'm just kidding. I'm not really going to wear these. Although, do I look MSNBC with these on? I'll give you my MSNBC impersonation. I'm very angry. That's all I got. Just very angry. All right, let's go to the A block, I guess. We haven't really had a block. And we're going to talk about something that Stephanie sent to me today. And then we'll have our toast and we'll get out of here for Friday. Somebody call me Grandpa. All right, let's see here. Let me pull up this thing out of New Jersey, which is just sick. By the way, I found out through my source, this is going to freak everybody out, okay? The same doctor that's doing the press conferences for the Congressman Solis, that was, I kept calling him Scalia the other day, but Scalise. The same doctor that's doing all the press conferences for Mr. Scalise, and I'm assuming is one of the doctors working on him, is... Where did it go here? Hold on a second. I got to find this. Dr. Jack Sava Ateljevec, the same doctor that worked on Seth Rich. Oh, man. That's not good. That's not good at all. And that, I don't want to say anything crass about that, but that alarms me a little bit. And the fact that Nancy Pelosi said that he was dead the other day, like she let something slip that we didn't, some plans of theirs to slip out, has got me a little concerned. So thank you, Larry Seachuck. Larry Seachuck, ladies and gentlemen, telling me good job with my show. This is a guy that I worked with in the private sector when I was in the FBI, and it was an amazing individual to work with one of the private sector companies. And Larry, I hope you don't mind me pumping you up here a little bit, but it's exactly what the country needs, was the NYPD, the FBI coming together with great people from the private sector to secure an event. And Larry was probably one of the most professional people that I worked with. So thank you, Larry. And thank you for the compliment. So let's see here. Let me bring up this article here. But is anybody else a little perplexed about that the same doctor that was the Hillary Clinton supporter doctor that worked on Seth Rich, who was murdered, is the same doctor that's working on this Republican congressman, as everybody calls for his death, and not for his death, for Republicans to be hunted, and Nancy Pelosi said that he was dead. So in New Jersey, on 101.5, I guess is a radio station, a dirtbag, a longtime Democratic operative from Union County, has responded to Wednesday's shooting of a congressman by calling for a hunt of Republicans. Now, those of you that know me and watch this show, you know that I don't judge people based on their color. I don't judge them based on their sexuality or their gender. I judge people based on their work ethic and their morality. It's not my place to judge people, but I don't do business with people that don't have good work ethics or good morals, and I don't hang out with those types of people. I don't keep company with those types of people. This guy, I'll have to say, though, his name is James Devine. He is anything but divine. If I ever saw somebody that I wanted to keep my kids away from, this would be the guy right here. That is an odd-looking individual, James Devine, and he is the one that was saying that Republicans should be hunted. And he's out of Union County, New Jersey. That's Rahway. So if anybody's out there in Union County, you should steer clear of this guy or watch him very closely. And don't be afraid to call the police because, look, they're not going to say it. I'm not going to say he's armed and dangerous, but he's definitely somebody that's inciting violence. And I think that if law enforcement really wants to put a stop to this stuff, they need to start taking these types of threats seriously, as this guy is an operative with the Democratic Party. He is no different than somebody walking into a theater and yelling fire. This guy is stoking the flames of anger and telling people to hunt Republicans. In fact, this was his tweet. I'll show it to you right here. I'll pull it up so you can see it. He said, see if you can see it. We are in a war with selfish, foolish, and narcissistic rich people. Why is it a shock when things turn violent? Hashtag hunt Republican congressman. So, I can't believe that people like this are not being arrested and charged with inciting some type of violence against a congressman or just anybody for that matter. But so it wasn't just there. It didn't just stop there. I then get some information from another incredible, I don't want to say hacker, but incredible individual that I've worked with a lot of analysts in my time. This individual is not in government and probably provides faster and more accurately searched information than anybody I ever worked with in the government. There's one or two people that I worked with that were really good at actively seeking information on computers and databases. This individual, and they know who I'm talking about, is probably one of the best. And I guess there's a hashtag hunt Republican congressman or congressman on Twitter. I can't believe Twitter hasn't blocked that and hasn't taken that down. But Antifa, which is in case you don't know, is an anarchist group. Really, they're a communist group. They're supposed to stand for anti-fascist, but the reality is they are fascist. They believe in fascism. And this individual sent me this picture here today, and especially, I guess this is a year old, but I want people to really pay close attention to this. It's Antifa, and they're really targeting Texas a year ago. Now, I don't know if you can tell what that is, but that's cheese and some other things with nails and small sharp objects stuck into it, because Antifa is targeting your dogs. So you need to watch this very closely if you live, especially if you live in the South. You live in New York, or like where I am. I watch everything my dog. You should be watching everything your dog licks or touches. If you live in Texas or in the South, you should be paying close attention to this, because even though that picture was a year ago, these dirtbags, these violent anti-American anarchists and communists are out to utilize any type of psychological warfare that they can to break down and subvert this country. So you need to watch out for that. And if you see somebody throwing stuff on the ground, and you walk over there and take a look at it, if it's like cheese or something, you know how these idiots dress. They thank goodness that yet they haven't figured out how to dress covertly. So you see one of these dirtbags throwing cheese or anything on the ground like that, go over. I learned in the military, don't kick stuff with your foot. I know somebody who died because they kicked a grenade. Don't touch stuff if you don't have to, but you can inspect it. If you see nails and stuff in it, call law enforcement. And if you have the ability to subdue that person without getting yourself injured, then do that. But I would definitely we have to start fighting back against this nonsense. I'm not somebody who's going to espouse violence on anybody. In fact, it's quite the opposite, especially what Drago said. If we want to win the Constitution back completely, we got to get people in government and start going after these people. But law enforcement's been crippled, not just because they've had their power taken away, but also because over the years of recruiting, they've lessened the requirements for law enforcement, so they have more unethical people in there, more liberal people. And I lived it when I was in the FBI. The DOJ is sickeningly liberal, and the FBI has amazingly liberal people too. I'm still astounded at some of the people that are in love with James Comey, and they have Comey's homies mugs and stuff like that floating around the DOJ and the FBI. I'm not advocating violence, but I will tell you this, folks. We cannot do what this congressman did yesterday, and I think I still have that soundbite that I played, where he said that this is a congressman that was injured during the shooting, and when he's asked by a CNN reporter, I think this is it. Let's see here. Yeah, hold on. Pause that. When he's asked by a CNN reporter what he thought about this is what the guy said. This is Texas. This is your congressman.
You learned that this shooter was after specifically Republicans. What went through your mind? And when you woke up this morning, did you think that all of this was just surreal?
Fox News, not
I
CNN.
thought that, yes, when he said he was looking at Republicans, I don't know that this is a Republican-Democrat issue. This man evidently had a lot of anger.
That's nonsense, folks. If that congressman belongs to your district, and that was, let me pull that back up here real quick. That was Congressman Roger Williams. If Roger Williams is your congressman, folks, you need to have a talk with that guy or vote him out of office, because that's just nonsense. I'm not advocating violence, but we cannot back down and just make excuses and saying that this guy was crazy. If it was just this guy, and there are crazy people, I think the guy down in South Carolina, Dylan Roof, I think his name was, that guy wanted a race war. He wanted a civil war, a race war. He's is a white separatist and a terrorist. He used violence for a political aim and killing for a political aim. The guy had severe emotional problems. He's a psychopath. This guy here, and the guy that shot up the baseball field, the guy that shot up Dallas, the guy that shot up Louisiana. The thing that differentiates these people from the guy who shot up the African American church in South Carolina is that literally, and I'm not taking up for any of these people. I think it should all be outlawed myself. I think anybody who speaks against the Constitution I think freedom of speech has been bastardized, where we take this and protect some of these mad people who are a threat to our national security. We protect them a little bit too much. But even the white supremacists didn't want to back Dylan Roof. The difference is this guy that was shooting up the Republican baseball practice, the guy that shot up down in Dallas and killed a bunch of cops, and the guy that killed some cops in Louisiana were all following the same ideological statements that were put out by Black Lives Matter or Antifa or these far left leftist communists that run the Democratic Party, and they haven't backed down. It's not like the white supremacists said, they said we don't have anything to do with this kid Dylan Roof. He acted on his own. Yeah, they're white supremacists and stuff, but they didn't want to have anything to do with him. Not with this guy. You got people putting hashtags hunt Republican congressman now. So that's a big difference. Dylan Roof was a terrorist. He went after innocent people and killed them for a political aim. This guy, look, anybody that kills like this is just somewhat crazy, but legally you can't define them as crazy. This guy knew exactly who he was hunting, just as Dylan Roof hunted black people down in South Carolina. The guy that shot up Dallas was looking specifically for cops. The guy that shot up Louisiana was specifically looking for cops. The thing that is different between Dylan Roof and these three individuals is that these three individuals follow an ideology, and that ideology is standing behind them and instigating further violence. And at the same time, a game is being played by others in the media, trying to turn this around to a crazy white guy who utilized the Second Amendment to kill people. So they're trying to turn it into a Second Amendment issue. And then you actually have people that are trying to say this isn't terrorism, that these people aren't representative of the Democratic Party, but yet they are just acting out because the country is divided and angry. Look, on this Friday night, incredible Friday night, all right, it's been a very productive day for me. I felt freer today than I felt in a long time. I've been working on a book. I hardly slept last night. I slept a little bit today. I got up. I felt great. Everything's flowing. It's rolling. Rico's feeling good. I walk outside. Even though I got a parking ticket because they changed the signs around. Thank you, de Blasio, jerk. And but everything's good, right? Because I'm free. I'm free to be angry or free to be happy. I'm not controlled by the anger of the RNC. I'm not controlled by the communist tactics of the left. I'm a smart individual. I see a threat to this country that's happening right now, and I am acting in accordance with the way the Constitution would call us to do, which is to unify. Before you do anything else, you have to unify. But the mainstream media, politicians both on the left and the right, politicians, you can't trust them, both on the left and the right, they're trying to make this sound like it is that there's angst and all this stuff going on in the country, and that they're going to come together and have a kumbaya moment because they had a baseball game yesterday. And so, let me, before I finish my thought, who is this idiot here on, let's see here. I'm going to view your profile here. This is Mr. Death Machine. Well, you're about to get blocked, turd, because the reality is and I'm going to educate you. I'm going to school you a little bit. I'll even give you a chance to rebut this, okay? The left, the communist left, the ideology that makes up the Democratic Party is the communist movement in this country. Hold on before you say anything there, Mr. Death Machine. The reality is Hillary Clinton was mentored by a communist. She's a communist. Bill Clinton was mentored by a communist. Bill Ayers was one of the people who went into the educational system to try and revamp this whole movement towards communism. Hollywood was infiltrated by communism. This happened years ago. This isn't just happening now. I'm not going to try to belittle you for saying that Donald Trump is in touch with the Russians or anything like that. Sources? Go Saul Alinsky. Saul Alinsky, the guy's asking me for sources. I'm assuming you're a guy. Saul Alinsky, if you read his book, Rules for Radicals, on the first page says he's a Marxist. Hillary Clinton was mentored by Saul Alinsky and wrote her thesis paper about Saul Alinsky and highly identifies with the movements and the tactics, techniques, and procedures taught to her by Saul Alinsky. He is a Marxist. The ideology that Hillary Clinton follows is Marxism, and I will challenge you to do this. For the weekend, forget about the Russian thing and Trump, okay? Go and look at Yuri Bezmenov on YouTube and watch. He's got several hours worth of video to watch. This guy defected from Russia in the Reagan era and did all these videos about subversion. You will see the exact game being played on the country by the Democratic Party. And that's why I always say that it's not liberals that I have a problem with. It's the Democratic Party. I have a problem with the Republican Party. I think the Republican Party is full of organized crime and communists. I think that there are communists that are playing the Republican Party, just like the communists are playing the Democratic Party. The problem with the Democratic Party is that it is in collusion with media, with activists, with entertainment, and all these different entities that perpetuate the lie of communism. They want to divide people because of their color. They want to divide people because of their sexuality. They want to divide people because of their gender. And here's the biggest thing. Yes, these problems are abundant in both parties, the establishment people in both parties. But here's the difference. Liberals in this country and around the world have stopped being free thinkers, and they just believe what the narrative tells them. Conservatives, by and large, are inhabit the rural areas in this country. Now think about this before you go off on me. People who live in rural areas, they don't depend on law enforcement the way we do in the city. In the city, you're not allowed to have weapons. So you have to depend on law enforcement. You have to depend on the city for water and food. People in rural areas hunt more. They drive more. They have guns. They protect themselves. It's a different mindset. And their rights mean much more to them because they are not dependent. And by and large, I'm glad you're a rural gun owner, but listen to me here, that by and large, the cities, the big cities in this country are where the majority of liberals live. And so it is a natural thing for them to do as they're told. And the Democratic Party has capitalized on this by offering social programs, by offering welfare, by offering all these different things that people say, okay, I'll be dependent, I'll stop working, or I won't go get a job so I can get free money, and so on and so forth. Other people say, I don't want to quit working, but I can't find a job, and then these social governments say, well, here, the Democratic government say, here, just have some money and stay on the welfare program, we'll take care of you. So there's a perpetual sense of dependency in the cities that is pushed towards people, and by and large that makes them identify with the Democratic Party. Then when they turn on the TV, they're inundated by the narrative of the Democratic Party. When they see activists complaining because they're being oppressed, because they don't have rights, because they're being discriminated against, instead of saying, I guess maybe that person was discriminated against, but I've always strived to be the best I can be. They don't do that. They identify with the cause. And that is where the problem is with the Democratic Party and the liberals. Liberals follow more blindly. I don't think Donald Trump is going to make the Democrats suffer more now. Okay? I think today is a good example of the road that Donald Trump is going down. Barack Obama hastily broke the barrier down between Cuba and the United States. Now, most people would say, especially liberals, would say, well, okay, so why? What's the big deal with Cuba? Cuba's a small island. They're not a threat to the United States. And hold on a second. Let me finish this thought. You're pro-gun, anti-abortion. I got the thing went away. Let me finish this thought real quick. So Trump stopped that. He's going to put a block on that where he's going to reverse it and go back to the way it was. Now, people are going to say that's because he hates Democrats and liberals and people being able to travel to Cuba, blah, blah, blah. The reality is, take a drink. Let me say, okay. The reality is, Cuba is one of the, I can't go into exact detail what number they are, but they're one of the top spy agencies on the United States. All these bad people that you see, I don't know if you've realized this, it's not just the movies. It's not like Dr. Evil, shaved head, and the bad people hang out together. In real life, bad people hang out together, and they are in pursuit of evil. Cuba is trained by Russians. Cuba is trained by and works with the Iranians and the Chinese and the North Koreans. And their intel officers are some of the best in the world. So what they do is they get people over here into the United States, whereas we think Russians are doing all the spying. The reality is, I hate to tell you this, Cuba is one of the biggest spies. And they feed all that information to the communists. So when Barack Obama mysteriously opened up that floodgate for those people in the intel community and those former agents such as myself, we kept asking the question, how can you do this? How can you open this up so blindly and allow this massive and professional intel source to have absolutely no checks and balances, and they can just free flow in and free flow out? So he changed that. He went back on it. You see, I think Donald Trump has gotten, because he's not a politician, he is being, you ever remember on Saturday Night Live, Death Machine? I'm going to call you Death Machine right now. Remember when on Saturday Night Live when they used to have Sherry O'Terry and she would go into the bar with the the guys that used to do the dancing, and she would get in between them and they would be just knocking her back and forth. That's the way it is with President Trump. He is engulfed in a political arena that is full of organized crime and communist. I know it sounds crazy when I say communist, not that crazy when I say organized crime, but it's true. These people have infiltrated our entire political system and are slowly subverting, actually it's more rapidly now, the entire country. And when you have a little bit of insight with stuff like Cuba, you'll sit back and you'll say, why would you do that? Why would President Obama, within 6 months, make nice with Iran, who wants to destroy us, and give them almost $3 billion, and then make nice with Cuba and open up the floodgates, somebody who is one of the biggest spy agencies against us in the world? Why? And I don't know. I can't answer that question. It's very strange to me. But I know when President Trump came in, he immediately recognized that and went after those things. And so I have to say, from an operational standpoint, I think he's going down the right way. Let me see what else is going on here. Sorry, Twitter. Listen, I love everybody on Facebook. You're my main crowd. But some of the... And I'm not saying you, Death Machine, because actually that was a good dialogue there. But there are people who come on here that are just... I don't see this Wanster on here. I haven't seen his comments. But there's so much more vile stuff on Twitter that comes up. I got to stop paying attention to it. Obnoxious. Maureen said he's obnoxious. All right, you guys... You disagree on too many levels to construe my points in 140 characters. Well, listen, next time I do a show next week, this is what you do, Death Machine. Go to the Expert Show on Skype. Add me. I'll add you back, and we'll have you call in. But I'm not going to get into an argument. I'll have a discussion with you. But I will tell you this: what the information I've given you is not opinion. The information I've given you is fact. I mean, you can like Donald Trump or not like Donald Trump, but the fact is, he's not a politician. He's a brash guy, and he's getting not manhandled, but he's getting diverted at every corner by politicians on both sides of the aisle. The Republicans are trying to destroy everything he does. Look, that's why they didn't have a health care bill, because they're in the pocket with the Democratic Party with all these health care providers and big money people and insurance people. They're just as deadly to Donald Trump's presidency as Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi. So the reality is he's getting beaten from both sides. And I would suggest, if you don't like him, give him a year. he's going to be here for 4 years. So give him a couple of years and see if some of the stuff that they're saying is so bad starts to unfold. The reality with the Russian thing, there's no legs to that. I know people in the Bureau, there's no years to it. I know James Comey said there was no legs to it. Hillary Clinton's got a much more in-depth relationship with the Russians than Donald Trump probably ever wished he could have. Hillary Clinton, as a Secretary of State, and her husband as former president, they have more connections with foreign entities than Donald Trump could ever hope to have. The difference is, while she was out there making contacts with foreign governments, Donald Trump was building businesses. And so, I don't agree with everything that Trump does. I don't agree with his son-in-law and his daughter being in the positions that they're in, because I don't believe in nepotism. And I'm not going to vote for them if they run for office. I'll run against them if I had to. But, I welcome you anytime. Anybody that's liberal, you're more than welcome to chime in on something. We'll have a discussion with it. But you have to know that when I speak, I only speak about things that I have a background, that my background will, that I can speak openly about, and that I know the facts in which I speak. If I don't, then I go find somebody who does, and that's why the show's called The Experts. So let me see what we're saying over here on Facebook, and then let me look over here at Twitter with the 9 people watching. YouTube. I guess YouTube gets a lot more. Let me see here. I get a lot more views on that afterwards. So, interesting. All right, why don't we do this? I have a racist haircut. Muslim stoner. I hope you're being funny. Because half of the Middle East has the same haircut. That's true. A haircut can't be racist. You hear my dog back there? He sounds like he's choking up a lung. He only does this when I'm not paying attention to him. Come here. You want to say a toast? Come here. By the way, Rico's birthday is in 2 days, folks. So that's going to be Sunday, the 18th. Rico will be 17 years old. Hey, come here. His brain is like 20, though. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm reading what everybody's saying here. He's going to come around here. Come here. I'll throw something at him. Come here. Here he comes. He's not hard of hearing or blind. He's a stubborn Jack Russell. Come here. Come on up here, old dog. You over there coughing? Yeah, you got a cough? He's like an old man. He gets up, he coughs and farts when he wakes up. Watch out there. All right, I'm going to put you down. Okay? Let's see here. Boy, there's just all kinds of nonsense going on over there on Twitter. Fact is, though, it's too small. I can't see it. I don't see what... Maybe once there's somebody I blocked because I'm not seeing what they're saying. All right. We're not going to worry about that. Here, I'll let you see Rico for a minute. There he is. Say hello. All right. What do you say? We're going to go to the Truth Zone, or we're going to close it? We're going to go to the C block. Which one do you want to do? You sound like you're going to die. You going to make it to Sunday? There you go. Get out of here. All right. Oh, Wanster. There you go. Nah. Wanster. Block me already. I don't see anything you're saying. But if Maureen says you're a turd, then you're probably a turd. Yeah, it's Friday. I'm going to use the word turd. I don't care. Monster the monster. You know what? We'll just leave old Wanster up here until he says something really offensive. But right now, he's just a joke. These little trolls. And let me tell you something before I go to do the toast. Social media is a funny thing, isn't it? Because most of the people like Wanster, they wouldn't say stuff like that to me up close and personal. I guarantee it. And but what social media does. What social media does is it gives them an opportunity to feel like there's somebody. I mean, I doubt they have a girlfriend, or if he's gay, probably doesn't even have a boyfriend. He can't get a boyfriend. I bet he got bit by a dog when he was younger because he's probably not friendly to animals. But yet he can come on here and say things and act like he's tough. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that drives trolls crazy. I'm way past that now, and hopefully my dog won't pass out and die over here because he's choking. But trolls don't bother me anymore because I guess the reality is now, and all the trolls out there should probably listen to this, you look like an idiot. Nobody takes you seriously anymore. There was a day where trolls would get under people's skin, but now, we just block you. It's not even funny, and I have a friend who trolls gaming sites, and he talked about how people just flip out on these gaming sites, or used to. But even that's not anything really anymore because people they don't really. Now you're hearing my dog bark, not a squeaky toy, or cough. He's coughing, but nobody even entertains trolls anymore. So, are you done? He'll stop barking he'll stop coughing as soon as I get off here. Okay. How come I don't run for office? Would you vote for this? Also, until the conservatives and liberals in this country come together, I'm not going to go to Washington D.C. and be a part of an organized criminal enterprise or a communist party. I'm American. I'm a free American man. I believe in being a man. I believe in supporting and defending the Constitution, and I believe in effective solutions that don't drag on forever. So why in the world would I want to go up to Washington D.C.? Maybe I should run for mayor of New York. How about that? How many people would vote for me for mayor of New York or governor of Arkansas? So how do I think we should tackle Islam? So what I want you to do, whoever just asked me that, I want you to go to my YouTube page and look up my very first show of The Experts. So you go to Jonathan T. Gilliam on YouTube, click on The Experts, and look for the first episode 1. And I laid out a 4-stage strategic war plan on how we could defeat Islam. The problem is the powers that be don't want to destroy Islam. They don't. They want to utilize Islam like they're utilizing the war on drugs, the way they utilize immigration, and the way they use divisiveness in this country. They're doing it to stay in power, and they're playing a game, and that's all. Their globalists want the world governments to crash. So what used to be small and one country-oriented communist governments, globalists have basically done the same thing that Stalin did or Lenin and Stalin did in Russia. They're trying to do it all over the world. What happened to the troll? Did we show him no love and so he left? He could be a she. Why would a girl ever want to be a troll? That's a job for lonely guys with very little manly parts. All right. I know about Victor Marx. He's the guy that takes the gun away from people real quick. All right. I got to stop looking at this. All right. C block. Let's go to C block. I keep thinking something's in my beer because I got paint on this glass when I was painting something. All right. So I don't know why I went to the C block. I'm going to set up the Truth Zone in the C block. So we'll start off with popping the top on some Pringles. Yeah, there you go. I know people just got hungry looking at that. Hold on, here you go. How's this for a show? People are watching me eat Pringles. A former Navy SEAL officer, federal air marshal, security contractor, and FBI special agent here in New York. And I can't leave Camp Robinson out. Camp Robinson Police Department, where I served for right at 4 months, made $15,800 a year. Amazing group of people down there. And I actually learned a lot from them in that 4 months. Oh my goodness. Every time I eat a Pringle, you know what it's like? You know when Les Stroud on Survivor Man, when he's like really hungry and he'll like find some deer carcass and he'll boil it and then he eats it. For some strange reason, it just looks so like he's enjoying it so good. That's what this reminds me of when I eat these. That's how good, like I've been starving. No matter how full I am, I can always eat Pringles and chocolate chip cookies out of the freezer. All right, I'll save those for in a minute. Hold on, I gotta take one more bite of these. This will be gone by tomorrow. Not gonna lie. All right. I'm going to be spitting all over the place here in a second. Okay, before we go to the Truth Zone, a couple things. If you watch this show tonight and you enjoyed it, you'll see what it's about. It's fun tonight. Sometimes I'm more serious, but it's all about facts, not talking heads. It's not about spin. It's not about fighting. I'm not going to talk about stuff that's not real. Funny, we didn't even have a B block. Went straight to the C block. So I guess I am a liar. This is actually a B block, but I called it the C block. But if you're watching this show tonight, if you enjoyed it, do two things for me. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. If you don't like the page, you haven't liked the page yet on Facebook, like the page. And all the Twitter and Facebook people, I want you to mosey on over to YouTube and like my page, Jonathan T. Gilliam, so that I can start building that platform now. Hopefully we'll get a radio show or a TV show or something out of this eventually where it's easier for you all to communicate and you can call in and really partake in this. The other thing I need you to do is go to GoFundMe. It's right here on the bottom. It just came up. GoFund.me/The Experts Roadshow. Donate $10, $20. If you're really rich, donate $1 million. But instead of getting an appetizer tonight, nobody needs an appetizer anyway. If you're gonna go to not Golden Corral, but what's the one that's on the edge of the freeways where they just feed you like they want you to blow up, or the Cheesecake Factory? They do the same thing. Don't get an appetizer. You'll throw up at the end of the thing. So just go ahead and take the money you would spend on an appetizer, or if you're drinking heavily, stop. Don't have those 2 last drinks. I'm saving you. Donate that money to the GoFundMe page right here, and this show will continue. And eventually, I'm going to continue to have these trips where I go on the road and get out there and meet some more of you all and give you the opportunity to have this stage as well and the microphone. So, like my page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and go over to YouTube and like that page and subscribe to that page and we'll just have this whole thing clicked in here. And we're on a movement. We're pushing forward because truth, that's what we're about. Unity, dialogue, and understanding the reality of what's going on in this country. So let's go to the Truth Zone. We'll have our Friday night toast. And before I go and put out the good feelings, screw you, Viral Hog. That's what I think about that nonsense. Let's go to the Truth Zone. Yeah. All right. Here's what we're going to raise a toast to tonight. We're going to raise a toast to the Capitol police officers that did their job this week when they defended the lives of innocent people that were on the field at the practice for the congressional baseball game. Here's to those Capitol police officers that stepped towards the bullets, to the officers that responded, that drove and ran towards the bullets. Here's to Ted Nugent, who says he doesn't want to say vile things anymore. Good luck with that, Ted. And here's to the Lord up above. I'm in awe of the spirit of the people that partake in this show and everybody that joins in and donates and supports what we're doing here. Here's to my buddy Rico and to all the animals out there that have homes and all those that don't have homes. Here's to the animals that will go into our stomach, and we thank them for the energy that they provide us. May they have quick deaths and long lives for eternity in paradise. Here's to standing up to those who bully you. Here's to banding together and defeating those that want to conquer or overthrow you. And as I always say, here's to lying, stealing, fighting, and drinking. If you're going to lie, lie to save a friend. If you're going to steal, steal a heart. If you're going to fight, fight a good enemy. You don't want to fight me. You don't want to fight these people, but bring it on. And if you're going to drink, my dear friends, my fellow Americans, my fellow patriots, if you're going to drink, it doesn't have to be alcohol. But if you're going to drink, don't do it alone. Drink with me. And to the enemies of this country that want to overthrow it, to the politicians that want to jack around with their positions that we've elected them to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party that have been subverted and think that they can play games with our safety and national security, to criminals like James Comey and Robert Mueller, to criminals like Nancy Pelosi, Paul Ryan, and all the other host of clowns in Washington, D.C., to the political machine in which they rely, to all the perverts out there that want to harm little children or animals, to any of the fundamental Muslims out there that think they want to overthrow freedom and kill Christians, to all the communists out there, I'm going to give you a warning. You're barking up the wrong tree. This is America. And eventually we'll get it. And when we do, there's going to be hell to pay. And I guarantee you I'll be at the front of that fight. My name is Jonathan Gilliam. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Happy birthday to my good buddy Rico. And I'll see you Monday on The Experts. The truth has arrived.
Pringles aren't affecting my weight at all. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just gonna go take a nap for a little while and start riding again. I'm just gonna have one more. It's not affecting my weight. Hold on. My body. Man, those are good.
If I was Dave Robinson, I don't know if he's watching this, but I'd eat that whole box right now. That's not even a box. It's more of like a tennis ball holder. I just tip it right up and just eat it like crazy. I don't know why I put the glasses on when I did the David Robinson impersonation, but what the heck. Alright, one last Pringle. Hold on. I don't know why I'm doing this skit, but
God bless you, Mr. Pringle, wherever you are. I love you all. Have a great weekend. I'm gonna go take a nap.